Danny Thomas, Zaino.
Danny Thomas.
Danny Thomas, Zaino. St. Thomas.
Danny Thomas Zaino, Teresa
Catholic.
Zaino, or Teresa Lynn Zaino.
Wow, a couple of Catholics.
Couple of Catholics.
Couple of Catholics.
Is that how you grew up, Catholic?
Yeah, a lot of kids.
Is that why we ended up together? Because we had something in common, or what?
She's come from a family of 6, 8 actually, with your mom and dad.
Yeah.
I came from.
Yeah, I'm an Air Force brat. My dad was in the Air Force for 20 years, and you know, I think, how old was I met you? 20?
20.
What was I thinking? Anyway,
I was stoned at the time.
my best friend left me in a bar. My best friend left me in a bar. She's not my best friend anymore, and
she was an asshole.
I ended up meeting this guy.
So,
and he got me into martial arts.
You were taking college?
Well, I had to take a PE in college, so I said, you know, he kept bugging me, and I said, I guess I'll try it that way, and I liked it.
Yeah.
And how many years has it been now?
You're going to be a 9th degree.
Yeah.
So maybe 10th, 50 years.
Yeah, teaching the general public, taught at the YMCA, the school board. We had 2 commercial schools. We ran a couple of tournaments a year. We ran
34 tournaments.
34 tournaments.
10 world.
Yeah, 10 world events. The rest were state events.
International judges.
And we started getting into the entertainment, so to speak. We had a radio show on a network called Action Radio Network with Richard Hackworth. And he asked us to do an interview on this guy named Kim Kahana. So we did that.
No, the reason how we ended up, first we did YK Kim.
Right.
First we performed for YK Kim. Because I had a performance team. I was in the Army team. So I had my own team, and I knew exactly, it was all Korean masters. And I lived in Korea. So that's, and then like 6 o'clock in the morning, Richard Hackworth knocked on the door and asked for the radio show.
He gave us our own radio show.
Own radio show.
Yeah.
You know, and then he wanted us to interview Kim Kahana.
Right.
And that's how it went down. So.
And then I was telling Sandy today, actually we did that radio show, and then we used to do these e-newses to advertise our events and different things in the martial arts, and she contacted me through an email and said, I think you can help my husband. And then we called here, and we kind of invited ourselves here because we had a documentary film we were working on. And Kim Kahana said, well, how can I help you? And when we came here, you preached the movie to him, and he said, we had our 3 kids with us, and he said, screw your movie, I like your kids. And we invited him to this Hall of Fame that we were throwing. We gave him an award, and the relationship developed from then. Debbie came, James Sang Lee came.
There was no relationship, man. Fucking Master
I said it developed from
there. He called up and he wanted to kick me out immediately. Wanted to kick me out. Hey, guy, I'm sorry, I can't teach you. I was like, why? And he wanted me away from the producer I was with.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm sorry, you're with this producer, and we don't want you. So I was like, okay. So I gave the phone to, I don't know what the hell happened. But then anyway, we ended up going up there. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We drove. I got all the kids up and shit. And we've seen the beginning place when you first pull in. And my kids were making fun of it. I'm like, look, check out this shit. And, you know, they're getting out of the car and they're making fun of everything. And they Kim Kahana. And then we
thought the school was their home because we couldn't find it.
And then all of a sudden they had us come here.
Yeah.
And then I pitched my movie, and he told me, I don't give a crap about your movie.
Right.
He goes, but your kids. And then he started with training. We had to come here we never missed. We came here every Saturday. Yeah. He goes, you're going to have to retire from the martial arts. He goes, if you want to do the motion picture and film business.
Right.
And we showed up first we had the kids come every Saturday for 3 years. And then my one son's got a certificate. But all my kids know how to do the stunts because of Kim and Sandy and the Kahana family. But my son Joe got in trouble, and I punched him in the face and sent him here. And we didn't talk for a while, you know, but it was better. I couldn't handle my kids, so I sent them to Kim Kahana. There's people come all over the world. I've been here close to 15 years. We've been here.
Yeah.
People come from all over the world, all walks of life, and he handpicks who he wants to train, or he wants to teach. But the main thing is kind of loyalty. And I think if you're not loyal, it's even like I was telling Eddie today. I said, Eddie, you gotta make the bed. He's like, make the bed? What the fuck is wrong? I was like, dude, man, you don't get it. This is a regular Hollywood school with rules and regulations, and I've seen many people get kicked out of here because they break the rules, you know. And so.
But this was the best film school you could ever come to, better than going to college. We learned everything about the business here, and it spilled into what we do now with our online. Well, it's not really online. It's getting picked up by networks now. His comedy cooking show.
Yeah, Dream TV.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other networks.
And Roku.
By next year, you'll see our television shows on television. So, so that's our next venture we have here. But with Kim Kahana, I've got a certificate. My son Joe's got a certificate for being a stunt man. Yeah. And I have a certificate for being a choreographer here. And he doesn't really consider you one of his people until you're with him 10 years. And so I'm with him about 15 years. So, and then, you know, you have to like the business and want to do good in the business. So I was in the Army karate team. So I come from a very performance gauged thing. And, you know, I'm very strict upbringing. And so this is perfect for me. Kim Kahana kind of reminds me of a lot of people say it reminds me of my father, this, that, and the other thing. But Kim Kahana, there's things that he's told me that I haven't told anybody else. But at the same token, I'm willing to do whatever, to lift this, cut that, whatever it takes. You know, you can't always be have the limelight, and that's the thing you learn here. And he put us in our first really hardcore production. First movie I was in was the martial arts kid movie. My whole family was in it, and he wanted us not to be in it. We were on our way, and he's like, turn the car around and go home.
We're already here.
We're already here.
We're already filming.
We're already filming. But to tell you the truth, the producers out of that whole thing, they knew who they are. They're nice people and everything, but they gave me a lot of shit for a few years, so I never seen my performance. So I never seen the film. I've never seen, I might have shut the film at the end down too, because I was stand-in for Chuck Zito, which I waited a full year. I'm traditional Italian. And I waited a full year to speak to Chuck, and I say, Chuck, by the way, I took your role. And he goes, oh yeah, you took my fucking role in fucking Florida. I'm like, yeah, because that's
he couldn't make it.
He goes, that's all right. And he's taught us a lot too. He's taught us about interviewing Chuck Zito in regards to how much money they actually get. The big stars get like 10, 20. They get money for some of these interviews and shit. And so, but we interviewed him a lot. But that's one thing I learned from Chuck. But at the same token, Master K came with us down to the U.S. Open. We went to Hollywood with him.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, and so we've been all over with Master K, and he showed us the ropes in Hollywood, and you know, we've been one of his, you know, loyal. It's, you know, loyal means that you just shut your mouth and do what you're supposed to do, and because you always learn. I mean, you know, with Eddie's doing this film today, just by sitting and learning, you know, even like I learned today. Let's say like you see a thing where a bunch of birds come out. There's a prop and a stuntman behind there scaring the birds up to fly out of the building. You would never, you know, you just watch the movie like, what the fuck, you know, but you would never sit back and think, oh, well, there's a stuntman behind it. And then he's saying that all these scenes have stuntmen running them, and he's showing us the different cuts and shit like that. So I learn every time I come up here, and you got to learn humility too.
And he suggested that I become an agent. That was back in like 2011. So I had to go through becoming a Florida state agent. And then it was an eye-opening experience to become a SAG-AFTRA agent.
The Hollywood agent. Through Hollywood.
You know, it wasn't easy either. It's kind of like a closed group that doesn't want to let you in. But,
yeah. And she works with a lot of networks. She's a network agent.
Well, so I'm an agent mainly now for our networks.
Right, and then also networks in Hollywood.
Right.
And a few. The Stunt Ranch too. There's somebody big that's got to get something. That's where originally Kim Kahana got me. It was for one of his people. You know, I got Trey and some stuff. And whoever's part of the ranch. But it's easy to get kicked out of the ranch. It's easy.
Well,
it's easy.
if you don't
just
follow
as
the
just
rules.
as fast as you came to the ranch, is just as fast as you can get kicked out of the ranch. You got to be able to sleep wherever, you know. If you're on a production, we were on production 24 hours. You know, you just deal with it.
Right.
You know, and extras and shit like that. Danny Trejo drove in and a bunch of stuff. But you know, and there's process to filming. It's a process to do my television show. Like my cooking show, Kim Kahana showed me all the different colors, how to taste food on camera, how to present the dishes. We used to do a lot of voiceovers, and he used to bitch at us. You know, you're doing too many voiceovers. We used to 50% of our show was voiceovers.
Yeah, it was so funny because you're watching a television show, aren't you? You don't have to have a voiceover. If they understand what's going along in the show, that says it all. You don't. These are things you have to learn.
Yeah. And you know, we came here. We had to be here at 8:00. 9:00 was the cutoff. So
Right.
I woke my kids up at 3:00 in the morning. Matter of fact, to be quite honest, I filmed a reality show back in the day, and I got footage going back. It's all digitized, and I'm coming out with a 3-hour feature after our book. We have a book coming through Hollywood too, and when the book's done, then we're going to come out with a feature because we've been filming it for a long time. It was originally supposed to be the corruption in sport martial arts, because I'm Italian from New York, and I had a rough time here, man. You know what I mean? It was fish out of water. Fish out of water.
Well, we mainly had to go down to Miami.
Miami. There's 5.
It was an experience.
There's 5. There's 5 circuits. 5 circuits. Just that's not counting the United States and internationally. There's 5 circuits within Florida. California is the only one that ever comes close to that, and that's a lot of circuits. That's a lot of champions. A lot of fight. I have Team Pepsi, and then I have Team America. I have one of the top teams in the world. We didn't have the money that other teams had, but we still were sponsored by Steve Shepard also. And Don Wilson was the first one to put me in film, and so I appreciate that, Don and Jim Wilson, and then Master K was the first one to put me in also another film, you know, as a horror film. So we got our makeup done by Pirates of the Caribbean
Joe
people, Blasco, and Planet of the Apes, and you know, my son had a fever, that 102 fever, and he took a punch after working 24 hours a day.
I remember that.
And we were supposed to be in the video. No, my family boycotted, so I had to drive him home. But I would have been in the video too. And they put us in the video anyway. But getting back to now, how we are is, you know, we used to come with tapes every month and show them to people, and they all threw them discs. They threw them on the ground. We had 15 years. And nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted any of our stuff. And then we show the tape to Kim Kahana, and he'd say, well, your voice is off, your eye contact's off, your footage is too dark.
Right.
And then he would just critique everything. So eventually we started editing, and everybody wanted to be a stuntman here. Nobody wanted to be an actor. Nobody wanted to be an editor. Nobody wanted to do all that stuff like that. So I was a safety man here. That was my job, I was a safety man. I just happened to be a choreographer. So when he's overloaded, I would be an instructor, but I was, I was more of a safety guy here, worrying about if somebody's gonna break their neck off the bag or if they're gonna fall off a rope. And then eventually I started learning the stunt industry, being a safety man. And then, in my productions now, I do stunt fighting. So, and a lot of stunts, but light stunts. I don't do anything high. And, but I know about it. I know about it. And if I have to, I had an argument with one guy. I had to run a production, and he was mad at me because I didn't do high stuff. And I was like, I'm just basically watching the place for Master K. I'm not giving you guys orders and everything. And anyway, he disrespected me, and I was trying to tell him there's a pecking order here, and there's also a safety. We have, when you go to jump in the airbag, you got fans on, yes, fans on. You have everybody. There's certain way things are done here at the ranch, and the only way that you can learn that is if you become a student. If you don't become a student, you're not going to understand the trampoline work. You're not going to understand the tying of the belt they were talking about for rappelling, if you had to use rope. You're not understanding the concept of zip line when you get off the zip line. And then, getting everything ready for, I was talking to him about a car hit. Eddie Craig was telling him about a car hit. Car hit is, Kim Kahana had a lot of people lined up. It was very rare. You can really get hurt with that. So he knows how to teach that. I don't know how to do a car hit. My children do, but I don't know how to do a car hit. You know what I mean? But I know some of the basics, even like a fire. Trying to make the fire bigger, you would use a metal container, not a plastic one. There's whole different rules in stunt industry that you would never think about. When it comes to first comes to safety, people, the right people. Then you have, so you have special effects too. So Kim Kahana also does special effects. I carried the bombs for him and all this other stuff, which is a secret. It's a secret of the stunt school. And so everything that he taught me, I have never showed anybody. And that's also part of the rules. You keep it all within the small community. So I am an advocate for the stunt community. I never was, but now I am. I always thought, as a martial artist, this magical person is a stuntman. One of the baddest son of a bitches on the planet was a stuntman. And it's true. Some of these guys are just flat out badasses. But they're not daredevils. They're not daredevils. They're, a stuntman is, it's everything's precise. And even Kim Kahana went from plane to plane, and done a lot of the movies you see, a lot of the stuff he invented in Hollywood. There's a lot of stuff where people get pulled off stuff, and taught us how to pull people through walls, levitate people, all kinds of stuff, even I think he had a horse that was all white. Like, I don't know what they painted it with or whatever on the side of the road, and they just did, I've seen music videos here. A lot of people come do music videos. I've seen first-time productions with 50, 60 people, you know what I mean? And a lot of different coordinators. And Kim Kahana doesn't really, he lets them do what they want. He is a director, he knows what he's doing. But a lot of times he lets everybody do what they want, unless it's dangerous. Or unless they come up and ask him, what do you think? But he doesn't take over nobody's production. He'll say, well, I think maybe step back 10 feet, and then usually he's right. And
well, it's a true stunt and film school, because one of his gifts is to pull out what your strong parts are. So maybe you might not be the stunt man, but you're a better choreographer, or you're an editor,
or a producer,
or an actor, or producer, and he pulls
director.
That out of people,
Right.
and gets the best out
He
of them.
He figures out after even though you joined for stunts, he says, you should be in hair and makeup and singer, and you should do this. And so he said you should be an agent to Teresa, because she can negotiate deals, and she is a very good agent. So the big deals, not just a regular bullshit deal, a big deal. That's got to be done right. Perfect. Perfect. So let me show you one thing here. This was the one thing. These guys are from Canada. They're an Italian group.
I think that show was called As Tough as It Gets,
Right.
or something like that.
And it was
awesome.
a great group, and they put out one of the best Kahana things. You should go see it. Ask Kim Kahana about this. He's got it, and it's beautiful what they did. Okay? And it's just funny. We're around the place here. There's Master K with us with Cynthia Rothrock.
That was in Atlantic City.
And Sandy in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And that was where he was a Chungo, and he was on Treasure Island. Okay, and he also did the stunts besides being one of the top actors there. So he worked with the biggest people in the world. He's still friends with them. And he's 94, ain't he?
Yeah.
And then this is one of his top students, believe it or not. This is my daughter Dominique. She's with him 3 years, and she's with ESPN right now. She's one of the top people in West Palm.
They said out of all their fire gigs that she was second best over the years of what she did.
Yeah, my family didn't. Really pissed off when I brought my kids here. I mean, they were pissed. My daughter's absolutely knockout gorgeous, and he lit her up like a Roman candle. But what didn't go too good. But actually, in all reality, nobody really understood the safety measures. It was an hour and a half.
No, it took forever to set it up, and then within 3 seconds it's done.
He had all the right retardant to go on there, the right suits and everything, and he knew how much gasoline to put on it. He's a professional. He knew exactly how to light up my daughter, and you run out of oxygen. So within a few minutes, you got to fall. That's why the younger people do it. The older people can't consume that. They go right down. So as soon as on fire, they're going to go right down. So, and then they have, for full burn, you have an actual oxygen mask. Now we learned a lot. We learned about the turning of the cars, how the cars turn over, what secrets the stunt industry does with that, and the cages that people put in, and then all the equipment. You got to have knee pads and a back brace and gloves, and you have to have a whole entire stunt bag. You know what I mean? So for the people that want to do stunts, you know what I mean? So he likes me to be an actor. So I do comedy, and he told me, Danny, you're unique. And so, yeah, I guess I am
I've
unique.
heard that a lot.
Yeah, you're. But most everybody here, we were talking about it, are kind of like not fuck ups, but just different people. They're just more ambition than the next person, a little bit more crazy than the next person, a little bit more. They're not just going to be in the movie business, they're going to go far in the movie business. So a lot of his people are running Hollywood. He has a film right now that Eddie's trying to get with one of his people that they made a big mistake. It's going to be the top film in America, you know, and Kim Kahana, that's just the start of it. That's just the start of it. And once he comes out with a bigger feature, it's just going to be breathtaking. He knew Bruce Lee. He's friends with a lot of the people, all the martial arts books that people read over the years. All the kung fu people on kung fu. He was
Everything.
He's in over 300 television shows and 40 features. I mean, and the whole entire family. I met all of them, but his one son, Rick, who got sick when I was here, matter of fact.
Right. We never got to meet him.
We never got to meet him. But we meet Debbie, Kim, we met, and Tony. So, friends with all them. And Debbie's an animal lover. Tony is too. He loves his dog, Amanda. And who was the other dog he had?
I don't remember the name of his other dog.
I don't know, but see, like the Zaino kids are the same way. My children are not very friendly with the actors, and they never come and meet my staff and all that. Same with the Kahanas. They're very proud of their father, and they're very protective. And so we eventually got to meet the family, and we're kind of part of the family.
It's been fun. It's been a wild ride.
So we came up to see Master K now, and 2 days, learned a lot. We had Thanksgiving. He cooked turkeys like from Hawaii. He's from Hawaii, and a lot of stunt people were either cowboys or martial artists, a lot of them, or just great athletes, fabulous skiers. They just take their energy. A lot of combat type of guys too. I have a lot of former police officer. You got gunplay. He had major security here at the ranch. Ran security from all over the world. Some of the top people, some of his people, some of the top security people in the world. So we're really at a unique place. There's only one place like this in the world, and we're fortunate enough to be friends with them. What do you think, Keith?
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So I brought Eddie here. I told Eddie, don't be late. And he's like, what do you mean, don't be late? I was like, okay, buddy, don't be late. He's like, yeah, you're so full of shit. I'm like, all right. Mm-hmm. He learned. But don't be late, all right? No,
don't be late.
It's funny, this is all done so nobody gets hurt. So if they're yelling at you here at the ranch, or they're disciplining you or telling you this is the way, it's all for safety. This is all for safety. You know what I mean? Everything's for safety. And also, this is information. Information's worth money. And so in the motion picture and film business, you should keep things a secret unless you got permission. You being an agent, you have permission to tell people stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's, that's just the way we do it. Plus with all the psychos in the world, you don't want them knowing where you are. You don't know what fans you have or don't have, And so I adopted my hat like this, put my stuff on. Master K does too. So, I don't know. I don't remember what happened. I got a combat medal, what the hell I did. So if I killed you, I'm sorry. So, but I don't know. So, but I'm here, and he helped me. He helped me a lot. We've been through really bad times, and this guy's really helped me, man. So, and he's helped a lot of people. Right. So, What do you want to say about Eddie Craig?
Who, that guy? No.
He's a martial artist, actor,
Eddie's a good guy.
and he's a hero. He's a
veteran.
Veteran hero, which is very, very true.
Which we need to take care of our veterans more.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like, Eddie, for us? Are we missing anything?
All right.
All right.
It's all good.
Okay, wait. Don't forget the next Hardcore Cooking show is coming up, our holiday show.
HardcoreCookingNetwork.com.